What's up, everybody? Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I wanted to make this video here before I got my day going. It looks like this stuff with Midland funding is heating up. Um, and while reading through the court um, records here and looking at previous court records on Midland funding, on how they've been sued successfully in court with different class actions and individuals that went up against them, is that this some of the things that I've talked about in my videos over and over, just to because I try to get the point across that debt collectors, when they send you a letter in the mail, they have to give you the opportunity to word it in a way that kind of has people kind of confused. And in this court case that was here in Wisconsin, they talked about the unsophisticated consumer. And what they mean by that is that a consumer that does not know debt collection law, that hasn't just sat there and read it and practiced in it and understood it. Like, it's not their job. They just a person that ran into financial problems, and they get taken advantage of by companies like Midland Funding and LVNV Funding. All of these different debt collection companies, and they're stating on here that Midland Funding during this cycle had purchased more than 500 and I think $525 million. They paid 525 million. So that means that they actually so they got debt for pennies on a dollar. So that means that they have billions of dollars in uh, debt that they can collect. And these are publicly traded companies. These are investors that put their money together and they just go after collecting debt. Now, one of the things that they said was a statement of inconsistency, which is something that we push on when we do our debt collection, debt validation letters, and to debt collectors, is that they have to provide you all of the information. But what I was reading here in this specific case was they made a statement like this. Uh, Statement that the consumer notifies the debt collector in writing within the 30-day period that the debt or any portion of the debt is disputed. The debt collector will obtain verification of the debt or a copy of a judgment against the consumer, and a copy of such verification or judgment will be mailed to the consumer by the debt collector. Right there is very confusing because you don't have a judgment against you. Debt collectors, uh, you will know if you have a judgment against you because they're not going to be sending a 30-day letter to you. They're going to be sending you a letter stating that they have a judgment against you, and what are you going to do about it? Because if they have a judgment, there is no dispute unless the case was just now won by a specific debt collector and they just want to give you the opportunity to see what you're going to say. But this is very confusing. What this does do to the individual's mindset is that they think that a judgment is on the way and that this is illegal for them to even say it that way. And they've been sued, but they probably are using this type of letter still, this verbiage in their letters still. Uh, I'm going to be checking again to make sure that we are not getting any of them stating that we haven't from the ones that I've seen. But if they are stating that, that is a violation, and when you put them on notice of a violation, they will usually cancel out that debt. They will cease collection activities. Now, another part of this was a class action lawsuit with Midland Funding. There was another section here, let me get to it, where Let me get to that piece there. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it. Okay, another part of this class action lawsuit was that they were giving the impression that the consumer's only way to do the debt validation was to call. So they were trying to force people to do a phone call rather than allowing them to be able to utilize their rights of doing a debt validation by mail within the 30-day period. And the court felt that the way that they worded that, and again they worded it by saying the unsophisticated consumer um, would actually feel that they had to make that call. And they were actually making people think that they had to make the call within a specified period of time, which is another violation because you have 30 days to do that once you are notified of by getting that letter in the mail. You have 30 days to do that debt validation, but they were giving people the impression that you had to make a call, number one, to talk about the debt, but we know that once they get people on the phone and you don't know the laws, you don't know your rights, that they're going to just be forcing you into talking about paying the debt. And what they want to try to also get you to do is to attest to the debt over the phone, which in one sense it could you can attest to a debt and say I'm attesting to this to see what's going on with this particular account. Like, is this my account? Like, they could try to trap you and say, is this your debt? And try to make you say, yes, it is. But that's not going to work because you could just say right there, because the whole call is being recorded. You could say, I've been instructed by this agent that I must attest to this debt to be able to even talk about if this account is mine. And then what they'll probably do is just say we can't continue with the call because they're going to try to use that call to validate that you have that debt, that you are the one that owes that particular debt without a validation in writing. So no matter what, if a debt collector calls you over any debt, you should always tell them to send it to you in writing, and then you should do a debt validation on that debt. And I'm because this is so like this is like the how can I say it? This is like so key to you stopping so many headaches and heartaches moving forward when it comes to dealing with third party debt collection buyers, that if you could get them into the fight with the debt validation, they will most likely not move forward with trying to sue you because they know that what they really believe is that you know something that they don't want you to know. Basically, that's what it comes down to. When you do a full debt validation the proper way to a debt collector, they will think twice about continuing to come after you for your debt. They're going to move on to easier people. Not to say that one of them might not try it, but I would say 9.9 times out of 10, they're not going to mess with you. Yeah, you might have some uphill battles on dealing with it on your credit reports. But step number one is just to figure out are they going to even be able to proceed moving forward with that? Once you can stop them right there from trying to take this stuff to court or to do that type of stuff, then you can start fighting with them on dealing with it on your credit reports. And you can use your own debt validations from the from dealing with them to start doing a workaround with the bureaus, and then now you're fighting it from both ends, which is what we do. But it takes time. It's not something that's just done quickly. I mean, it's not something that's done quickly. I wish it was, but they're dealing with millions of accounts, like they just had with this lawsuit. They're dealing with millions of accounts, and the bureaus are dealing with millions of accounts, and we're all dealing with the COVID um, work situation right now. So it's going to take work. And the people that allow themselves to continue fighting right now when it's the hardest to fight, when it's the hardest to believe, are going to be the people when 2021 starts to get stuff back to normal. They're going to be so far ahead of the other people. It's going to be like lightning struck. I mean, you're just not going to believe how far ahead you're going to be if you just allow yourself to make it through this fight. Uh, I want to leave you just with some good words here. With some, you know, I consult with a lot of business owners. Like one side of my business is I have the credit repair company, but I also own an advertising agency. And you want to know one of the biggest things that I consult with those business owners about is that you got to maintain a level of consistency and you have to allow stuff to mature. Like so many people, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to give you something, ways to relate what you're potentially going through with your credit repair, which I say, I've said this before, that repairing your credit is like building a business. Building a business, there's certain things that you have control over and certain things you don't have control over. But one of the things that you have control over is consistency. And when I consult with business owners, and even for myself, when I, go through the ups and downs of running my businesses, is that I understand, number one, that I control my mindset, I control my motivation, I control my ability to be consistent. The things that I can't control, there's certain results, no matter what I try to do across the board with all of my companies, there's certain results that I don't control. And I understand that. And what I do with things that I can't control is I just keep staying consistent because I've learned over time, over the years, over the ups and downs, over the 1990 downturn. Look it up in your history books. Look it up on Google. 1990 we was in a recession. 2001 we were in a recession. 2008 we were in a recession. I learned that consistency is key. That no matter what is happening with the economy, no matter what is happening with other people, no matter what is happening with yourself, the ups and downs with yourself, that if you put it in your mind that you control yourself, you motivate yourself, you remain consistent no matter what, because even when you are making a ton of money, when you have the relationships that you wanted, when the kids are listening, when everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing, if you are not that consistent person, you are on top of a house of cards. You don't have a foundation. You must remain consistent with everything. You must maintain control of your emotions. You must maintain control of yourself because you can have all the money in the world, but if you do not control yourself, you're going to lose it. You can have the best credit score in the world, and if you don't maintain yourself, you're going to do something to lose it. Heed my words, understand it. All right, so if you need help with your credit, please go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and I'm making I have some special coming where I'm going to have this consultation process because I want people to understand what we can and can't do when it comes to credit repair. So if you go to my website right now, thecreditrepairshop.com, and you look at the video, what makes us different? If you can follow that, I invite you to become a customer. If you cannot follow that, please do not sign up with us as a customer. If you need your credit reports and scores, please use the website your3scores.com. I really appreciate that. That's one way that I help monetize the channel here for the time that I set aside to make these videos. If you need debt validation letter, for those resource links are below. If you have a debt that's past statute of limitations, and the way that you find that out is by looking at your credit reports. That letter is also included. Please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I need to get those numbers up. Please get notified so you can know of new videos that are coming out. And yes, I am going to be doing more research on the Midland funding lawsuit and looking at ways that you can challenge debt collectors. And I'm going to be releasing more uh, products that will allow people to do some of this work on their own, because I understand that people have you have limited budgets, and I understand that. So I want to put together different programs that you can utilize on your own with my instruction videos, so you can use that and put that into action, so you can be ahead when 2021, when the light at the end of that tunnel for 2021 starts to really get bright, and all of us start to get back to normal, and we all start feeling better. You feel good now, or you're starting to feel good. You're feeling better and better, and then when 2021 gets towards the end, or somewhere in the middle, whenever it comes, we all accept it. We all will be in that light. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward for everything, for all of us to get back to normal. So I'm in the video here. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you, and until next time.